Okay. Father Tom and I had a talk earlier this week, and we agreed that it would be best if we spoke a little bit this Sunday about the Supreme Court ruling from a couple of weeks ago. We decided that saying something would be better than staying silent this time, and we agreed to have a relatively consistent message. That's good in general, to give the congregation one consistent message. You don't want two priests telling you opposite things. Extra true today. So we're not giving the exact same homily, same general message. I'm thoroughly confident I have your attention now. So let me start by this. I understand demographics, okay? I understand the importance of knowing who it is you're speaking to and to tailor a message for their needs. That is a good rule. Know who you're speaking to, take their needs and their desires into account to the best of your ability. Unfortunately, that little bit of common sense doesn't help me very much this time, because the question of what is marriage, what are its legal boundaries, how do we live it out as Americans, those questions are so controversial. They have us split right down the middle. For all intents and purposes, about a third of you want me to say that you want me just to repeat the magisterial teachings: one man, one woman, right is right, wrong is wrong, end of story. Another third of you want me to say the exact opposite. You want me to say that it's time for a change, to catch up with the rest of the world, and to prove that Catholics are not raving lunatics stuck in the past. And you also want me to say something like compassion and equality are the values that really matter in the end. That's what we need to focus on. End of story. And of course, the final third of you are relatively neutral. You either want to be left out of it, or you feel that as a priest, I don't really have all that much business talking about this in the first place, and that I should stick to Jesus. With zero sarcasm in my voice, I promise, zero sarcasm in my voice, I fully respect all four of those opinions. I believe in being obedient to church teaching for a completely different reason than marriage. These last few months, I've started to consider that being loyal to church teaching might be more important than we could possibly understand at any given moment. I believe that. I also know enough about history that things in this world change, even the doctrines of the church. And of course, I believe compassion and empathy are values that no civilization can live without for long. And trust me, there's plenty I would rather be talking about this morning than this. So given that, where do we go from here? And I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an appeal to all of you in the spirit of St. Paul. Because in the second reading today, he's writing it's the second letter to the Corinthians, and he says that power is made perfect in weakness. I delight, says Paul, in being tormented and ridiculed and insulted, persecuted and constrained for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, it is then that I'm strong. That, more than anything else, is my message for today. That the power of Christ will see us all through together in our collective weakness, because we're all weak. Plenty of you here now have felt constrained and persecuted by either the church or by society. There are other people in this church, very well sitting next to you, that have been insulted and endured hardships for the sake of a good cause. And I guarantee you, a few rows down, there is someone that has been utterly crushed from feeling insignificant, underestimated, and disrespected. That's us. And in our collective weakness, we have the chance to be strong in Christ. I'm basically talking about Religion 101. We're all sinners. We all make mistakes, in spite of the fact that we're all doing our very best to lead good lives. But the fact is, all of us make bad decisions. All of us make decisions that our friends and family will not approve of. We're all going to learn a few things the hard way. None of us is safe from that. That is a quality, that is a weakness that we all collectively share. Now, I know that chances are most of you have made your decision about what you think about marriage and whether the Supreme Court made the right call or not. And that debate is not ending anytime soon, I guarantee you that. But as I stand here and as I look out at you guys, this wonderfully diverse collection of individuals, it is easy for me to see a cause that is even more important than any political view or single moral decision. And the cause is this. It is the fact that in spite of everything, we come together as men and women of faith, hope, charity, and goodwill. And I'm asking you, I'm urging you to hold on to that togetherness today. That togetherness, even if you are feeling that temptation to let it all go and to give up. I say all this ideally in the spirit of Paul, because the power of Christ is made manifest in weakness. These are the times in history where our mettle is tested, where our meekness is tested, where our wisdom is tested. And the power of Christ endures. It endures beyond petty disagreements. It endures past grave injustices. So if you're a lofty idealist, please heed my words. Be Christ-like. Acknowledge your own weaknesses and shortcomings, and that humbleness, that humility will carry you through. And of course, there's a practical element to what I'm saying, so if you're not a lofty idealist, heed my words anyway. Because sooner or later, someone who is close to you is going to disagree with something you hold vital or sacred. And at that time, if you choose to declare war and to bark out your stance at them, if you do that, you lose. Because no one ever had their minds changed for long by being yelled at or disrespected. And when we do that, when we give in to that temptation, which we all do from time to time, mind you, we lose our ability to teach other people. And whatever wisdom that we have to share is stuck with us as walls are built up between us and the very people that we're trying to help. I don't want walls in between any of us. We're supposed to trust one another. We're supposed to learn from one another. And in that way, churches are really useful. This is a sanctuary. This is a place of protection. This is supposed to be a place where everyone can feel safe. That means no fighting, no bloodshed, and no walls. Just people gathered in faith in spite of their weakness. later, when I'm doing the pre-prayers for the sign of peace, I want you to remember they count double for today, because we need that peace more than ever now. So when you're giving your sign of peace to the people around you, I want you to mean it. You have no clue how much the person next to you might need that sign of peace. I had a really great closing line, and now I forgot it. Oh, that's just not fair. Yes. Because peace is the key to knowledge, apparently not memorization, the key to knowledge and the first step toward happiness and true fulfillment. Thank you for waiting for that.